Hi everyone, this is Ms. Granger. In this video, I'm going to go over the OPCVL for Lesson 3 about the French Revolution. This video is optional. If you want to fill in the chart on your own without this video, you are welcome to do so. So your OPCVL chart is on the back of your notes on the French Revolution. It is part number 2. The document that we're going to use to evaluate is document A, the decree against profiteers that you annotated in the previous lesson. So make sure you have out this document because this is what you will analyze. So remember that we're evaluating evidence and arguments as our ATL skill focus, and you'll see that your chart is completely blank and it's got bullet points with various amounts of spacing in between. What I want to do is actually reference my lesson 1 from Unit 4, and I want to go to the back page and I want to find the questions for the OPCVL, and that will tell me what goes in each bullet point. So starting with who is the author. So I'm going to find most of the answers to the origin, the O section, in this little description here. So I see that the leaders of the Committee of Public Safety passed this document. So these guys are the authors. So I'll write that here in this first bullet point. The second question is, what type of document is this? Well, I know right here in the title it's called Decree Against Profiteers, and I know from my definitions that a decree is an official order. So I'll put here in the second point, bullet point, decree. And then the answers to these 3 questions I'm going to let you find. They are, when was the document written? Does it have a title? And is it a primary or secondary source? So again, when I look in my document, I should find all of this information in this top section. You will have to make an inference about whether this is a primary or secondary source. And if you need reference on primary versus secondary sources, go to the first page of your notes and check out the difference that you already noted. Pause the video and fill in your whole O origin section now. Let's move on to the purpose section. We're looking at why is the author writing, what is the author saying, and who is the author's audience. We can again answer those 3 questions by investigating the description at the top. We can know why it was happening, what was being said. When we write why or what was being said, you're just kind of generalize what do they want, and we'll make an inference about the audience. Who is this really directed at? There's kind of 2 groups. One group that it's directed at is very direct, and one group that is being directed at is indirect. So see if you can find at least one of the audience members for this document. So pause the video and fill in your purpose section now. Let's go to the C, content. You want to summarize the content. What are the main ideas? You'll see that there's just one bullet point. That means you'll need at least one idea, but the more information you have, the more informed you might be for your mastery check later. So you're going to take a look at the document itself again and look at the content. So what is being said? Choose one or a couple of these 1 through 6 decrees that were passed and kind of summarize them into your own words to go in that C section. Pause the video and fill in C now. Now we're on the V or value section. So what makes this document valuable? Well, our main thing that makes it valuable is that it is an official decree. It's actually meaningful. It was passed by a committee of people in charge, and we can infer that this was followed up upon, though we don't have evidence of that right now. It's very official. It has very clear expectations. So we're going to say it's valuable because it's an official decree. Second, how does this type of document add value? Since it is official, we know that there are actual consequences involved with defying this decree. So we know that they're defining a capital crime as something that is punishable by death. And they clarified that in the 6th bullet point here as well. Punished by death, punished with death. So we'll say here that because it's an official decree, it gives weight to its consequences. meaning it makes those consequences very clear and defined. We're not going to do this third bullet point that says include specific details about the document. It's a pretty short document, and you probably summarized it more in the content section. So let's move to the last section about limitations. So what parts of the document may not be helpful when researching this topic? So one of the big limitations that I see here is I'm not really sure who's following through on this decree. I understand that monopoly is a crime, these things are commodities, I understand that there shall be consequences, but I'm not seeing who exactly will execute those consequences. So here we'll write, it's unclear who will be executing the consequences. Our second question, how is this type of document a limitation? Well, it's a decree, so it's official, and we know it's officially against profiteers or people who are in the specific circumstance with hoarding food or commodities, but is it too limiting in its scope? Meaning, are there other professions that this might also fall into, this type of activity that are not included? For example, in number 3 here, I have an etc. at the end, which means and so on. But if I'm a and so on kind of institution or commodity holder, am I part of this profiteer's decree or not? So there's some kind of gray area here. So really, it's pretty unclear if there are other professions this might apply to. All right, that's it for this video. Go ahead and go on to the next one that your teacher says.